Hey, welcome into Monday. Welcome into a brand new week. I do feel this week is going to be a week of renewal, reconciliation, recalibration, and basically a massive karmic clearing for both the divine masculine and the divine feminine. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below. We're going to talk about the energies coming at the Twin Flame Collective for the week ahead, and then we are going to go deeper in with some tarot and some oracle messages. Today we do have Mercury retrograde in a conjunction to Venus at 22 degrees, and so I just feel this is the moment where the divine masculine is going to reach out. I feel the counterpart energy is going to be resurfacing with this transit today, or it could just possibly be like that moment of truth that is going to be arriving that you've been sensing coming intuitively. But I do feel this undertone of this Five of Cups where the grief and the memories are going to be resurfacing now as well. And I do feel there's like a reset. This energy is inviting a reset because it is happening at 22 degrees, which is the energy of the Fool. And so that's like a clean slate energy that we're starting the week off with, right? And so it's not like a repeat cycle moment unless we force it, right? And so there is an opportunity to heal this stuckness with the transit today, where we can finally arrive at that conversation of what has been left unsaid, okay? And then midweek on Wednesday, we have another Venus aspect. We have Venus in a trine to Saturn, okay? Saturn is still retrograde, but it will go direct the following day, okay? And so I feel this is where we stabilize the energies, is midweek, where the masculine energy really starts to ground and the feminine begins to really anchor in that new sense of self-worth, right? Because Venus is all about worth and values. And so this trine, I feel, is opening up a gateway portal of a new value system, especially within the twin flame connection, where we are going to be less reactive, less karmic, less avoidant, structured, more devotional, more emotionally mature. And so this is really where emotional truth really turns into that real world change, okay? So Saturn finally stations direct after months of retrograde, and that's going to be happening on Thursday. Thank goodness, because the weight is finally going to be lifted, is what that feels like. All of this stalled energy is going to start to break apart. And all of that fogginess that's kind of been hovering over the connection is really going to start to clear and dissipate, right? And so it's the green light, right? Saturn going direct is the green light. If you did the work, if you did the clearing, if you did the deep dive, this is the renewal moment. This is the desire. This is the courage. This is the action, especially for the masculine, because it does carry with it a Knight of Wands archetypal energy after doing the deep dive into the archetype of the Hermit. And so I feel this is where the masculine is finally going to make a choice. And I do feel this is where he's finally going to face those fears, and he's finally going to step towards the divine feminine instead of away. And I just feel for the feminine, it's a reclaiming momentum on your journey if you've been feeling stuck in your own life or with your purpose or your path. And then we do go right into Venus in a conjunction to Lilith on Friday. But it's a positive energy, I feel. It's like an Ace of Wands, Six of Wands energy coming through where the feminine rises. That's what that transit is telling me. The feminine is on the rise. And this is going to bring deeper emotional openness, a reclaiming of your voice. If you notice, I'm a little bit hoarse today. And so reclaiming the voice that has been silenced or ignored. And then Mercury stations direct, okay? So Mercury will station direct on the 29th. I'm just going to throw it out there. The 29th is the last day to book with my 30% off sale for all of my astrological sessions. You don't have to book in this week, but you do have to purchase the reading by the 29th to get the 30% off. All you got to do is enter code retrograde, all in capital letters, at the checkout with the coupon code, and that will get you the 30% discount on transit chart readings, birth chart readings, and twin flame synastry chart readings. This is probably the lowest price you're ever going to see my readings at. So if you are curious, if you want to activate your mission, if you want to look at what's going on up in the cosmos, how it is affecting you, Or is this connection twin flame, karmic, soulmate? What is going on in this connection? Now is the perfect time to book in for that truth and that clarity. I'd love to get that booked in for you. But we do have Mercury finally stationing direct on Saturday. And we also have Venus in an opposition to Uranus on the same day. Judgment energy, very loud judgment energy, 2 of Cups. And so this is where that massive karmic cycle reaches completion, okay? And it's going to bring the clarity. It's going to bring the revelations. It's going to bring possibly even direct communication. And I feel this is the confession moment. I really do. It's the explanation. It's the confession. It's the reconciliation happening, because Venus opposing Uranus at 29 degrees, it's going to like break apart and shake loose all of those old final attachments of the old relationships, the old relationship beliefs, the old karmic cycles, the outdated patterns, and all of these karmic loops within those relationship cycles. And then we close off the week with Venus entering into Sagittarius on the 30th. But before Venus enters into Sagittarius, it is going to give us one last magical trine to Neptune retrograde at that karmic 29th degree. And so this is where the dream opens up. This is where the new collective relationship paradigm begins to form. And this is where we walk through the gateway of hope and we ground that in once again. But we're kind of releasing the excavation energy of all of that scorpionic shadow work, I feel, come the end of the week. And the feminine is really going to begin to feel free. I feel it already. Free, optimistic, open to the possibilities. We are ready for that new chapter. And so this is the ignition point happening. And so we're not really out of the woods yet, but we're seeing the path again. It's visible, right? There's emotional clearing. There's karmic communication. There's feminine reclamation. There's masculine movement. And the early rooting, grounding in of union energies. We are replanting these seeds. And so there's a lot of Venus activations this week. There's a lot of divine feminine energies. I feel stepping into this new chapter of self-worth and confidence and embodiment. And so this is where we shift. The connection shifts as the feminine shifts. That's what I have for the weekly forecast for the week ahead. Let's dig in with some cards. Let's see what the cards have to say. But comment down below, free guide, if you are curious about learning a little bit more about your birth chart, especially if you are new to astrology. I do have a free guide. All you got to do is comment free guide down below, and I will send you the link to download the 15 basics of your birth chart. And please remember to go check out the astrology membership. It's been launched now for a couple of months. It's never too late to join. We can go back and watch anything you want that we've talked about on all of the live lessons and Q&As. Go check it out. For the fraction of the cost of my one-on-one astrology mentorship, you can join the membership and get awesome lessons in regards to astrology and how to apply them in your own life. But let's dig in with some cards and let's see what the cards have to say today. absolutely love the cards that came out for the message today. The week ahead is really a week of new beginnings. I can clearly see it, but the masculine is still struggling emotionally, still struggling with some past choices, some regret, some fear, some spiraling energy. But overall, it really is a positive reading compared to the heaviness we walked through last week in all of the daily messages. So let's break it down. The first card out, you decided to wake up, or else why did you draw me? It's a 37 card, which is connected to this King of Cups archetype energy. Key 37 in the tarot is the King of Cups, and he did come out in reverse. And so this is like the divine masculine's spiritual alarm clock, I want to say. The masculine is awakening, right? And so he's awakening to emotional maturity, spiritual accountability. And I think he's receiving sign after sign after sign, nudge after nudge, synchronicity after synchronicity, whether it's in a book or a song or a movie or name dropping, like mirrored names. There could be like deja vu, dreams, I want to say, or even nightmares. We did get the Nine of Swords in reversed here. And so I do feel the masculine's alarm clock is ringing loudly, like ring, 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 saying, wake up, wake up, wake up. And so I think he is beginning to recognize how deeply he fell asleep to his mission, how long he lived within the illusions or the distractions or the karmic patterns. And definitely with this Nine of Swords reverse showing up, I just feel this is him shaking off like the nightmare he's been living, or even like breaking the spell and beginning to anchor in a new sense of emotional truth. But I think he's struggling with all the clarity he's being shown with what is real, what is illusion, what's been holding him back, what his soul can basically no longer deny. And I do feel Pisces, Leo energy coming through for the masculine, Pisces, Aries possibly. But I feel this is the soul recall moment, okay? So we get the say yes to the open door. 22 card, archetype energy of the Fool. This is the portal of destiny that I talked about, right? Especially as we start off the week with the Mercury retrograde conjunct Venus at 22 degrees, and we close off the week with the King of Wands, I feel. And so there's a master builder energy here. There is a doorway opening up to the twin flames, but we have to walk through it. We have to have the courage and the willingness to say yes to this open doorway, right? And so the universe is asking, are you going to say yes? Are you going to say yes to a new beginning? Are you going to say yes to the leap of faith? Are you going to say yes to the unknown? Are you going to say yes to the higher timeline and yes to the path of destiny unfolding? Because the door can't be walked through halfway. We can't keep one foot in the old door and one foot in the new door, right? We have to walk through the doorway all the way. And so we have to shed all of the lower dimensional entanglements, all of the old, outdated ego identities, all of the fear-based conditioning. We have to shed that. We have to say yes, right? And so there is something very magical, fated, and divinely orchestrated trying to unfold, but we have to be a willing, active participant in our own journey, in our own miracle that we are creating. And then the third card is to be enlightened, lightened up. And so we see the banana peels, and I just feel like it's okay to slip and fall. That's how we learn. That's how we grow. It's also a 29 card, which definitely ties into the energetic degree points that we talked about in the weekly energies with the astrology. And so this is the ignition of the karmic completion, right? And the revelation all at once. And so it kind of does mirror the spiraling energy I feel that the masculine is still going through. It's like, this is the punchline. This is the aha moment. This is where the illusion dissolves and everything is going to become unmistakably clear, especially by the end of the week with the Venus energy trine Neptune at 29 degrees, right? And so I just want to say this is like, this is the final test. This is going to be that final release before that new cycle can really begin. And so this card, I want to say, is a reminder that enlightenment often arrives when we can laugh at the past, right? And a lot of us go through some very traumatic events in our lives, not just the twin flame journey, but other traumatic events. And we have to be able to look back in the past and laugh at the past. We have to stop holding on to the old stories. And it's okay to surrender the seriousness, right? It's okay to allow joy to become the next step of our guidance. We have to be able to enjoy life. Joy, the embodiment of joy, right? And so I feel this is karmic closure in real time happening. And then on the bottom of the deck, Divine Feminine coming through very loudly. I want to say it's a 3 card, and it says, allow your work to become your art. I love it. And so this is Divine Feminine creation. This is Empress encoded. This is a message for the Divine Feminine. When you are handed the creative pen to your destiny, your work, your purpose, your mission, and your offerings, it's not just about working, right? It's not just working, although it is your work. It's about creating. It's about birthing. It's about expression, self-expression. And when we turn our life itself into art, then we are art in motion, right? And so this could be a new business model. This could be a new creative offering. This could be a new spiritual mission being activated, the next level of your mission. There could be a new timeline being grounded in for your service path. I just feel new inspired ideas, right? The Ace of Wands, new inspired ideas are waiting to take form. And so the universe is saying there are people waiting to fall in love with your art. Are you able to fall in love with your art, right? And so this is the feminine, I want to say, returning to her power. You are here to be a way shower, and you are only going to see the way by making the way. And so I just feel the feminine, that's how the feminine calls in the masculine, right? Ask wonderfully and receive graciously. And so you are the way shower. Shine the light. Because you are the activated ally for the divine masculine, okay? So return to your power, return to your self-expression, return to your divine purpose, okay? And so this 9-card spread definitely is showing me like the remnants of the masculine purge. I definitely see that. The feminine rising for sure. And this really is leading to the path to union, although it doesn't really look like that at first glance because of these reversals. But there is movement, okay? So let's talk about the top row. Ace of Wands, Knight of Coins, King of Cups in reverse. So we get the Virgo energy. We get Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio with the little fishy on the card. I feel Piscean energy. Could be dealing with the masculine, sun, moon, rising. Pisces energy. Could be dealing with the masculine with prominent Virgo. But this is the spark. This is the new inspiration. This is the divine ignition. This is the Sagittarius collective fire energy pushing forward movement. The opportunities really are ripe, but they do require action, right? They require us to take action, not just emotion, right? And so there is a grounded offer here. It feels like honesty, responsibility. This is like tangible effort coming through. This is the most reliable masculine energy in the deck, but it is slow, 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 slow. But it's real, it's tangible, it's earthly. I feel there's an offer being prepared so something can grow over time. But there's still this emotional suppression that needs to crack open, right? His heart is full, but it's not very balanced at this point in time. He's really struggling, I feel, to regulate his emotions that he has suppressed for years, okay? And so he's probably also around an environment where emotional safety is a little bit low. And so his spirit really is calling him towards openness, emotional maturity, vulnerability, wisdom. But I think it feels very overwhelming for the masculine this week, where he learns emotional mastery, right? And that is going to be the key to union. We can't do the hard work for him, okay? So the middle row, we get the Hierophant, the 3 of Wands, which is the central energy of the reading. And then we get that Strength reversed right below this King of Cups in reverse. And so there's a lot of divine teachings coming through this week. There's a lot of higher wisdom and sacred realizations being downloaded. These old structures, these old paradigms, they're collapsing, right? The old institutions, the governments, the traditions, the old relationship models, they are dismantling for restructuring, right? And so I feel the divine masculine and feminine beliefs get restructured from within, but the central energy is expansion. There is momentum with the Three of Wands. And so this is the heart of the reading this week. Vision, expansion, future planning. This is the masculine, I feel, seeing the possibility of union, the possibility of success and alignment, but he has to stretch himself beyond his comfort zone. It's like the energy too for the feminine, I want to say, of being in the right place at the right time. But this strength reversed, I feel this is fear, doubt, lack of confidence. This is his internal battle, right? It's his internal emotional battle. There's fear of rejection, I think. There is fear of failure, fear of emotional vulnerability, fear that he lacks self-worth, lacks that personal fortitude. And so he is going to have to find his inner strength. And he can't do it through brute force. He's going to have to do it in the quietness and find the steady courage, I want to say, of the heart here, okay? So the bottom row, we got the Nine of Swords in reversed. That mirrors the you decided to wake up, or why did you draw me? We get the Five of Cups upright and the Page of Pentacles in reversed. And so there is a massive emotional purge here, and it feels very heavy and very real. And so there's a lot of internal demons, I want to say, that the masculine is facing. The nightmare, breaking, regret, guilt, sleepless nights, overwhelming worry. I feel massive fear of reaching out. And all of these worst case scenarios looping round and round. But I feel because it is in reversed, healing is beginning. So it's like the nightmare, I want to say, is losing power. And then this Five of Cups, I feel he feels the feminine's absence deeply. And I think he is finally mourning the past, and he regrets the choices that he's made. This is deep soul level sorrow, but I also feel we're at a turning point. But there is so much fear of taking the next step. There's so much fear of bringing forward an offer. He's afraid of not being enough. He's afraid maybe of failing again. I also think he's painfully aware that he must learn a new foundation, a new way of relating, and a new way of committing. And I do think he sees the feminine as his safest person, even though he fears approaching you, divine feminine, okay? So let's talk about the bottom of the deck, because we do get the King of Wands. This is the masculine stepping into leadership. This is what we don't see below the surface after we get through all of these energies. This is courage. This is action. This is dissolving all of the internal conflicts with the Five of Wands. No more fighting himself. No more avoidance. I do feel there is a rebirth energy here. Maybe he's resisted the transformation until now, but the rebirth is beginning, and I think he is clearly seeing how his past choices sabotage this connection, and this is the heart opening. I think it feels very raw and tender and very, very sacred. Like, I think he's scared. He's so scared. There is definitely an awakening sequence here on the bottom of the deck, which is leading to this action being taken. He is being prepared to take action. I see that very clearly here, okay? So let's talk about the closing oracle messages. We get expression, and on the bottom of the deck, we got humility. And so we incarnated into this lifetime to express, to create. It definitely aligns with the bottom of the deck of the first oracle cards. We are here to embody our divine encoding, and this week I feel is awakening a new level of expression within the Twin Flame Collective, especially the divine feminine. So ask yourself, are you speaking your truth? Are you sharing your wisdom? Are you honoring your art? Are you letting your soul's voice be heard? Because there is a new collective movement emerging this week, and we build this through authenticity. We build this through honoring our creative expression, and we build this through anchoring in our divine embodiment. And so we must choose ourselves. We must choose our voice, and we must choose our mission, okay? Humility is always going to be the pathway to grace, okay? Humility is the key to compassion. It's the key to gratitude, and it is the key to this divine connection. And so this card, I feel, is inviting the twins, especially the masculine, to release comparison, stop seeking approval, acknowledge growth without shame, recognize that everyone is learning at their own pace. Humility softens the ego and it opens up the heart. This is probably one of the most sacred stages on the twin flame path, is the path of humility. And so this week's Oracle and Tarot spread, it does confirm all of the astrology I channel for the week ahead. The masculine is awakening. The feminine definitely is rising. And I want to say creating. And the doorway to union is wide open. All we have to do is walk through it and complete these cycles of karma. And so we have to rebuild. There's a rebuilding, and I do feel there is action coming. And so that is what I have for a message this week. If you would like to go further with a personal reading, remember 30% off sale ends on Saturday when Mercury stations direct. So hit me up, check out the link below. Let me know down below in the comments if this reading resonated with you. I'd love to hear where you're at on your own twin flame journey. Don't forget to like the video, comment, and share and subscribe if you haven't already done that. Have a great week ahead. I will be back on Wednesday, and I will dissect Venus in a trine to Saturn. So I will see you all in a couple of days. Have a great week ahead, everyone.